What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel. And if you guys are new, welcome. I hope y'all are enjoying the Solstice of Heroes, all those little changes that we got. This right here is definitely going to be a build y'all can take into that EAZ, slap out basically every single boss you encounter with one shot with this boy. Even taking this into some of the later game, you might not one shot them, but you're going to be doing a heck of a lot of damage via this build right here, via the Hunter and Celestial Nighthawk. Now for our subclass here, we're going our Marksman, which is that precision flaming pistol that disintegrates targets with solar light. It overpenetrates, has increased precision damage, and creates that nice orbs of power on precision hits, as well as benefiting from radiant, which we are going to get via our throwing knife. So we're going to be having our Marksman dodge on triple jump, our proximity explosive knife here, as well as fusion grenades. For our aspects, we're going to be running knock them down so we can get that radiant and get back our throwing knife while radiant with that melee damage, energy, and defeats, as well as our marksmanship has increased damage resistance and duration, so you can move around a little bit longer and line up your shot to make sure you get that precision hit with Golden Gun and Celestial Nighthawk. On top of that, we're going to be running our Gunpowder Gamble again so we can get those solar target defeats with debuffs or weapons, which cause that nice explosion that we can throw just like a grenade. Let it stick, which it has a timer detonation, or you can actually shoot it mid-air, causing that explosion a little bit early. For our fragments right here, we're going to be running Ember of Torches so we can become radiant via that throwing knife like I was talking about earlier, which will help us in turn with our marksman doing a little bit more damage with that golden gun shot. Next off right here, we got Ember of Wonder. So with all the explosions and ignitions that we're going to have via the Solar 3.0 build, we're going to be creating those orbs of power to in turn get back our super faster so we can just spam those golden gun shots and defeat bosses and champions over and over again with that nice high damage of this build. Finally, for our fragments, we have your class ability recharges faster when you scorch targets. This will just help us dodge around a little bit better, getting that reload on our weapons, which will help us create orbs of power via some mods on our armor set. For our weapons right here, we're going to go with the Submission SMG with that Overflow Frenzy, leveling this up so I can craft the enhanced perks of it. Definitely a banging kinetic SMG right here. Then we're going to be using the Prometheum lens actually. So when we fire this solar trace rifle, it actually generates a nice beam of solar energy. The longer you hold it on an enemy, it'll start to scorch them as well. And we're going to be using this to get that harmonic siphon, which will in turn gives us orbs of power when we get solar defeats using a solar subclass. And then we're also throwing on the fixed odds with incandescent for the same thing, creating those orbs of power, as well as creating that scorch on enemy, which will give us a dodge back a little bit faster, since we are only running 83 mobility here, which I know for a hunter you want more, but I definitely wanted the resilience, and 83 is close. With how we have this built out, we're still getting dodges back very, very fast, and I wanted that 100 intellect so we could get golden gun back even faster. Now on our helmet here, like I said, Celestial, it modifies that golden gun shot to shoot that high damage single shot. Eliminated enemies will explode and grant us super energy. So it's nice because when we get the defeats, which we will again, when you use this, almost every single enemy, if you're hitting those precision shots, will just disappear with one shot. So we get a nice good chunk, maybe 25%, 30% back on those defeats. And then on top of that, like I said, we're using that harmonic siphon. So those rapid weapon defeats with that damage type matching our subclass is going to give us those orbs of power, which will give us our super back faster. And then we have Font of Wisdom on, so when we pick up Solar Elemental Wells, we're going to be getting a enhanced ability increase, so we're getting our intellect improved, once again giving us back golden gun even faster. On our arms right here, we're going to have a couple different mods on. So causing damage with a melee attack reduces grenade cooldown. So that's going to be nice for that proximity grenade. When we do damage with it and we're radiant, we're going to get that back. Plus that little extra grenade cooldown to throw our fusions around to once again proc that explosive well maker, so rapidly defeating those combatants with solar explosions, create those solar elemental wells, which we're getting via our gunpowder gamble, our grenade, as well as that Promethean lens and fixed odds, spreading scorch and causing all of those explosions. So that when we collect those solar elemental wells, we have Font of Wisdom procced, which will give us an increase. Even though we're at 100, it does give us back ability even faster. Now on our chest piece, once again, we're going to be running Powerful Friends for that nice extra little bit of mobility, so it allows us to dodge faster. On our boots, we're going to be going Recuperation, so we get health every single time that we pick up one of those orbs that we create via our Harmonic Siphon on our helmet, as well as Elemental Armaments for those weapon final blows. With both our Promethean lens as well as fixed odds, we'll have a chance of creating those solar elemental wells that we can pick up, proccing that Font of Wisdom, giving us increased intellect. Finally, we're going to have that Class C restoration. When we dodge, we get our health back, as well as utility kickstart. So as soon as we dodge and all of our class ability is fully expended, we gain a little bit of that energy back, basically making it feel like we have 100 mobility on as well, minus that little 20% for your jump and stuff like that. But this build, as you can see, pretty fun to use. You're getting your super back very fast with all those orbs of power and solar elemental wells that we're creating. And then you can see it absolutely annihilates bosses. Lost sectors, doing that Altar of Sorrow on the moon with those nightmares coming at you. It one-shot a good amount of them. When I wasn't radiant, it took down basically 80-85% of one of the ogre's health, which is a pretty beefy enemy. Super easy to defeat after that, especially with that Promethean lens, spreading that scorch and doing more damage the more time you hold it on an enemy. So this build is that super good way of doing that one-shot defeats with your golden gun. And the way we have this built out, you do get your super back very fast with 100 of that intellect, as well as Font of Wisdom on, and we're creating orbs of power as well as those solar elemental wells, which will give us again that increased ability, making us just spam one-shot kills. Super fun build to use again for something like your normal strikes. Going through Gambit with this is super fun, actually. In my opinion, you're able to do some heck of a good amount of damage on those prime evils, and pretty much every single strike boss, if you're hitting your precision shot, this right here is gonna murder it out until you get into some of that high-end content, and then this will just do a lot of damage on those enemies instead of doing the one shot. But it is a good chunk of damage on even those higher end enemies. So thank you guys again for watching. Truly appreciate it. Hopefully y'all like this build. We're going to have some more with that Warmind cells, as well as going over some Solstice things here in the future. So thank y'all. Be on the lookout for that. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.